Hello, and welcome to Torg's Day Night on the Ulysses International Channel. I am JM, your GM, and with me tonight are a unnamed group of Storm Knight characters who will be exploring the new environs of Pan Pacifica, the latest cosm to be coming out from Ulysses International. Now, before we get started, I'm going to introduce our players, and we have one player who has never Torged a single Torg since Torg was Torged. And so Haley, welcome to the show, to Torg. She's going to be playing our Savage Worlds game, but I was like, you should come and play Torg. It's awesome. So we have, I've introduced Haley, who you got to see playing Roxy the Bullet last week in our Deadlines game. Becca, who has been a standard on the Iconic Production show since its inception. And the Bens, the finest buddy cop duo I have ever had. The honor, nay, the privilege.
We're going with honor.
So, seeing as this is a short one-shot, we're going to do a introduction to Torg in case we get some new viewers who have been wanting to check this Torg thing out. I'm going to be mentioning it in the awesome, welcome. I will be mentioning this. I do the Delphi Council Debriefing podcast for the Ulysses International channel. And so I'm going to be mentioning that we're going to have this little self-contained introduction to Pan Pacifica. So, Torg is a role-playing game where on an Earth, and technically on multiple Earths, because your Torg version of Torg Earth is canon. So the Iconic Verse version of Torg is canon because there are, I would say, possibly an infinite numbers of Earths, and there is a crisis on these infinite Earths. I know Ben is picking up what I'm laying down. This Earth was a Earth that was the Earth of our movies. What if John Wick and Die Hard were, our action movies were actually just the normal things? What if Earth was directed by Michael Bay? That's basically what we have.
Steven Seagal is actually good at martial arts.
Stranger things have happened. And, with a little Chris Carter, like in the shadows of the world, the X-File projects are going on, Fringe, that sort of thing. And on day one,
He's taking over a small town in California.
Yeah. I don't know if I would argue that Cobra Kai is canon, but maybe in your brain.
I mean, it is. It's an amazing show. So
every college has a Indiana Jones. Every single college,
right.
Even
Indiana,
state schools.
That's right. Those ones are played by Nick Cage. And on day one. So unbeknownst to us, this group of super powerful entities known as High Lords. A High Lord is a person who is aware of the Infiniverse and has bonded with something called a darkness device. This darkness device allows them to strip the possibility energy from a cosmos or reality, channeling it into their High Lord, increasing their power, causing them to be able to break through the walls of reality and absorb more realities, with the end goal of becoming the Torg, which is the highest High Lord of them all, who will then get to dictate how the universe and the reality of the multiverse runs. So on day one, this group of High Lords, brought together by an entity known as the Gauntlet, invade Earth. And when I say invade Earth, yes, there is a physical invasion. Bridges, Maelstrom bridges, break through the walls of reality, landing in various points throughout Earth. But in addition to that, there's a Cosm Watch, where the laws and the nature of that reality came through the Maelstrom Bridge, spread through a network of stelae, which agents had spread across the globe, and transformed large parts of our reality into their reality. So, for example, on the coasts of the U.S., about a third, depending on what zone you're in, a third to half of the people get transformed. They don't remember any of their life. Their possibility is stripped from them. So on the east and west coast of the United States, we get the Living Land, which is invaded by dinosaur people called the Adinos, and there are dinosaurs there. And one of the laws is,
This is the first time I realized there's dino in their name.
yeah, did you not?
No, I didn't pick up on that. I thought they were being cool, but they're not. They're
Oh,
really not.
okay.
Sorry.
Like, wait till you get to the part where the horror cosm Orosh is kind of horror-ish. Mm-hmm. Horror-ish. Orosh. It's still great stuff.
It is. It is.
So,
Not,
you know,
not
the
knocking.
laws there, technology doesn't work as well. In Scandinavia and the British Isles, this invasion called of Cosm called Isle. It's actually refugees that initially come through fleeing their Dark Lord elves. It's high magic, so you have dwarves in magical power armor, and elves flying dragons, and magic, and good and evil are personified in people. So you're either allied with the light or you're allied with the dark. In France and parts of Germany and Spain and Italy, the cyber papacy, which is this quasi-medieval techno-cosm where there is cybernetics and hard light displays, but everything is handcrafted by monks, so there's not a lot of mass production. And everyone has a Reddit rating. And the holier you are, the more access you have to the world. The more you are punished and downvoted, the less access you have to
So there's a social credit system.
social credit system. Across the Middle East and North Africa, the coolest High Lord who has been replaced in the iconic verse by Zorba Aladdin was none other than the High Lord Dr. Mobius, and he invaded with a 1930s pulp superhero costume. Weird science, two-fisted men and women of mystery, investigative journalism at its best. Hold on, I can do all of these. In Russia, Darkhold, a world of techno demons, tried to invade in Russia. In the most Russianist thing that they did, they nuked Moscow and blew up the Maelstrom Bridge. And so Russia has kind of devolved into like several different pockets of like Darkhold is ruled by several different High Lords or people who wish to be High Lords. It's sort of Mad Max meets Hellraiser. I really dig that one. Pakistan, India, that kind of swath in there was invaded by a Victorian-esque, like late 1800s, sort of British Victorian Gothic horror. Frankenstein, werewolves, vampires, stuff like that. But what we have here is the Pan Pacifica invasion. What's interesting about the Pan Pacifica region is that no one actually knows when it actually began, because Pan Pacifica just sort of maelstrom bridges, there were no armies, there were no invaders. They just got some technology faster than the rest of the world thought they should get, right? Like, we all know kind of where technology is going. We have prototypes, but suddenly there's this explosion of technology. Cybernetics started to become a real thing. The Zuzu, the personal phone, went far beyond anything that Apple has ever designed. It's probably how this show is going to get taken off, because I've spoken bad about my Macintosh overlays. And yes, Mr. Furious, there was a virus that spread that turned people into zombies. But they have cured that. Or so they say.
Are these not Gospogs? These are actual zombies?
These were infected.
Okay.
And they were not Gospog. Gospog are a type of creature that shows up everywhere, sort of ubiquitously. In all the cosms, they're like plant zombies. Very, very terrifying plant zombies. But
Would you say it was like an evil took up residence?
I think so. That's a good way to explain it. So, we're going to be playing in,
Sort of under the umbrella?
sort of an umbrella of a company?
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to be playing this. Now that I've given you the broad overview, what you need to know is core Earth still exists, just not in those pockets. And there's this massive resistance run by the Delphi Council. The Delphi Council gathers Storm Knights. Remember I said about 30% of the people just forget about Earth? there's a very tiny percent of people who have this spark of possibility, this ability to manipulate possibility energy. And they get to carry their own personal reality wherever they go. So when you go, if you're a Pan Pacifica person and you go to the Living Lands, your stuff still works for the most part because it's not running off reality, it's running off your personal reality. So we are playing with the Delphi Council, and I'm going to have everyone introduce their characters while I pull out my deck of cards. So we're going to start with Ben. Ben, would you please introduce the character you are playing tonight?
Me, okay.
The Ben that is here.
Tonight I am playing Mr. Black. He is a Chimera investigator. Formerly worked for the government in Pan Pacifica, and was gifted with a number of gene mods, which apparently allow him to have a number of special abilities, including what appears to be a tail, but is actually a tentacle that grows out of his back. And
I feel like you're making a big deal about this.
yeah, no, I mean, it's important.
Your tail tickle?
My tail tickle. There's not a lot of good way to say that. But he was, upon being recruited by the Delphi Council, they assisted him in jailbreaking his gene mods, allowing him to mutate even further.
Yes, I should point out that in a very Repo the Genetic Opera sort of way, you get your gene mods, and it's awesome! Till you miss that first subscription payment. And then your gene mods don't just go dormant, they go goo.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that.
And of course, you're welcome for the intro. Let's have Mr. Business introduce himself. Mr. Business, Restar, who are you playing?
Meow, everybody. I'm Mr. Business. I am a feline transhumanist. I grew up on the mean streets and adopted a life of petty crime to keep myself alive. I developed a reputation as a brawler and street fighter and became a hired muscle for a syndicate. The syndicate, seeing my abilities and natural strength, decided that I should be turned into a cat. So I was taken and given many gene mods that make me now more cat than human, but I love it because humans are yesterday and cats are forever. You could say my time as a human is now just memories.
Oh, Becca, on the heels of that, would you please introduce your character?
Yeah, I'm Bobby, soldier, good at my job, good enough that they gave me a power suit. It's a pretty sweet power suit. Can climb walls, can hang from the ceiling. I'm good at what I do, always have been. All the weird stuff falling around doesn't mean much, as long as I can keep people safe and do my job. So, if this entire world is at war with the High Lords, then this is exactly what I trained for.
Right. And finally, Haley, introduce us to your character.
So, my character is Valerie. She is not from this world, but she still loves the classic 80s glam look.
It's like Ben's character who loved classic 80s
you
blue
should,
shit.
you know.
Yeah. So you're actually from the reality that invaded Earth.
Okay. I'm still a good guy, trust me.
That's like good.
You fought the man on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rich.
I love technology. I love it so much that I even traded in my arm for a metal arm.
That's right. All right. So, one last little bit. We had a little bit of technical difficulty before we started, which is why I'm a little behind the game on the cards. Everyone in Torg gets two types of cards. So the first one is a Cosm card. a cosm card is used to reinforce the reality laws of the world. So you can play this at any time. And I will take
Excellent.
Mr. Business, you have Vengeance is Mine. And Becca, you have Feud. The other cards that you guys get are Destiny cards. Destiny cards can be played on your turn when they tell you you can play them. In combat, you may only play at the end of your round. At the end of your turn, you get to put one card into combat, into your action pool. And that's the only card you can play. So you gotta have this little bit of tactical. These are Haley's. These are yours.
So good to have 4 cards again.
Yeah, because being a techno demon.
Welsky has denied his destiny and only got 3 cards every time.
All right, so this adventure is going to run 2 to 3 sessions is our plan. We're going to go from there. Becca, here are your cards. Ka-chow. And Ben, here are your cards, sir. They will be in your Discord server. All right. Apologies for the little bit of housekeeping. So, we're going to begin down at Shinjuku Station. You are members of the Delphi Council, which means you get sent in to deal with a number of different things. Reality-rated events, High Lords being mischievous, trying to find a way to inspire hope to rip out the Salem, to return Earth back to its natural state. The goal of the Delphi Council is nothing less than to end the possibility war by driving the High Lords back to whatever reality they have come from. It has been a mess of a first year. The Delphi Council has had some victories, but mainly losses. In India and in Orosh, there are rumors that the cosm they came from is gone. They are here to stay on Earth. In Istanbul, half of the city was reverted back to core Earth by Storm Knights. The other half still lies in thraldom from Darkhold. In the Nile Empire, there's rumors that Dr. Mobius has been replaced by another entity, someone far worse, far crueler, far more handsome.
Dang, nailed it.
Did you really think it was going to end well for Gabe doing that? Like, in what reality does bonding with in what reality does flirting with something called a darkness device pay off with? So you have all received the summons message on your personal Zuzu from your handler in Pan Pacifica, in Shinjuku. It says, hey, you need to get down to the train station right now. There is an incident going on. More information to follow. Yeah. Now, for those of you at home who have never played Torg before, and for a refresher of our players, because they have never actually been to Pan Pacifica, these are the world laws to keep in mind. There is the law of intrigue. Things are not always what they seem on the surface. There's always something running underneath, something strange, something nefarious. The Kanawa Corp has its fingers in all pies. Something that seems innocuous will probably pay off in ways you could not even imagine. But also, much like in the way of a good noir story, in Pan Pacifica, as you journey to try and solve the mystery or the thing in front of you, you end up finding much more about yourself than what you first started the journey with. There is the law of tenacity. The hard-boiled heroes of Pan Pacifica don't get knocked out easily. So you have 2 types of wounds in this game. You have shock. When it hits 0, you get knocked unconscious. And you have wounds. You get less of those, and each one you take is a -1 to all of your rolls. But in lieu of being knocked out, you can take a wound and recover all of your shock. Spit the blood out of your mouth, pull the tooth loose, get back in the fight.
This is just for Pan Pacific.
It's just for Pan Pacifica. And there is the law of vengeance. If you take vengeance on something or someone, and it is a big payoff, not like that guy didn't bring me my food. But
It's magic! Thank you for you, bro!
you will actually increase your destiny pool hand size by 1
Okay.
as you lean into the laws of vengeance. So I will reward you with more bennies, with more possibilities, the more you lean into those 3 laws: vengeance, tenacity, and intrigue. But, there is a ton of cat bugs. I'm going to ignore those for right now. When you get to the station, there are people flooding out of the train station, screaming, "Demons! Demons!" Actually, the word they are using is Oni.
Mr. Business got here first, I see.
And as Mr. Black says that, you see something about 15 feet tall, white, with an arm kind of moving like this,
Is it Lucky Cat?
come flying through the glass wall of the station, and it's coming right toward you. I would like you to give me a dodge roll. So this is our first roll of the game in Torg.
And then dodging a 10-foot, 15-foot Lucky Cat.
So, in Torg, you have, what is your dodge skill? Let's walk through this for our new players.
All right, so my dodge skill here is my dexterity plus, so it's +2, but my dexterity is 10, so that's going to equal 12.
Nope, that value at the end includes your dexterity. Right, so it's just 12 is your base.
12 my base. Is
Yep.
what I'm adding to.
Yep.
I rolled a 16.
All right, so you look at your bonus chart.
My bonus chart, that's a +3.
Okay, so it gives you a
So-
total of
15.
All right, you get out of the way. The target number for this was 14, was hard. You see with cat-like, oh, dang it, with chimerical-like reflexes, you leap out of the way. It hits the ground and just tears up the street and comes to rest at the foot of Bobby's power armor. So I'm going to ask Bobby a question. Have you worked with these people before?
Yes, I've worked with them all individually, and I was told that this group is all gonna be joining together, and lucky me, I get to be a part of this.
Is this the first time that the group has really come together?
I fear so.
All right, I love it. All right, so you guys have all worked with Bobby before, but you've never worked with each other. And as you watch, there is this hulking entity walking up the stairs towards you out of the depths of the train station. It has a large stone with iron-studded club that it's carrying over its shoulder, and it picks up. It's holding a punk, like neon, like not just neon green, but actually like fiber optic cable hair that's flashing green, and he just reaches down and tears the head off of the man, crunching as he goes, and you can see there are 3 others that kind of come up the stairs behind it, forming a little diamond formation. Miss Chat would like to know, Bobby, what power armor do you have?
Awesome. It's a gecko power armor.
All right. So this
This
is a
wall walker suit.
wall walker suit. The rain is coming down hard. The grime and the oil kind of bubbles up to the surface of the concrete as you stand and watch these horrific things, these demons, these oni from Japanese mythology coming up the stairs at you. The thunder cracks and the neon lights all around you. They flicker for a brief moment. And we're going to go into combat. We're going to start with combat. It's going to be fun. So, Bobby, tell me when
Yeah.
to stop.
Oh, that feels good.
Do
Stop.
you want me to cut?
No.
All right. So this is the drama deck. The drama deck is used to determine initiative. It works by, I flip this card, and I will read it out loud for everybody so that everyone knows how these things work. It's a standard, oh, come on. The card is called Breakthrough. It is a standard scene. Heroes go first, villains go second. If you take the taunt action, I will give you another destiny card. So in Torg, you can take as many actions as you want in a turn. You roll once, and you apply that modifier for the bonus chart to all of your skills, -2 for each after the first. So if you want to do 3 things, each one of them is at a -4. So you can always taunt and do something else. But more importantly, the Destiny card doesn't just determine who goes first and second and what approved action is. The approved action is great because it forces players and the GM out of the mindset of, I attack on my turn. What cool thing could I do with a taunt? But it also gives special bonuses and special penalties to one side or the other. So heroes gain a flurry, which means
Nice.
all of you will go, and then all of you will go again, and then the villains will get. So
Nice.
there are 4 Oni.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to go first?
Okay.
Looks like Mr. Business. would like
Mr.
to-
Business, as you stand there in the rain, your fur getting matted by the oily surface that's kind of taken on these nacreous pools, and the rain that kind of is coming down. It's a warm, but not like a refreshingly warm, like just a little lukewarm. What do you do with your turn?
What is the maneuver of the Oni?
So one other thing about Torg in 90% of the cases has what's called the transparency rule. I always tell you what you need to roll before you roll it. So maneuver is your skill for getting around. It's also your skill if, say, you were flying a small air speeder in the snow and can't take a armored 4-legged walker down, but you want to like fire a magnetic grapple and wrap around it so that that's your maneuver skill. So the maneuver on the Oni is 8.
Oh, excellent. Are the Oni reality rated?
They are. They have
Okay.
4 possibilities apiece.
Oh, holy moly. I would like to do a multi-action. I would like to taunt and maneuver the lead Oni.
Okay.
So it'll be a -2 for my multi-action.
Okay.
My taunt ability is only 8, but my maneuver ability is a 14.
All right. So Ben is going to roll 1 die. What did you get, Ben?
A 4.
Okay, that's a -4 to. That would be a total of
Yes.
-6. Do you want to spend a possibility to kind of make that a little better? All right.
Yes, I do, please.
So
And thank you.
In Torg, when you spend a possibility, you roll another d20 that cannot be less than a 10. You roll 1 to 9, counts as a 10. So his worst he can roll now is a 14.
So
But if he
I
rolls
got
better than
a-
that, they add together.
I got a 10, which explodes. And then I got a 14
So that's a
So-
24, 28. So that is a
altogether.
+9 to all of your well, +7 with the penalty. So what is the first one you were doing then? Taunt or maneuver?
So my I will taunt first by I have extended hairs on the back of my neck, and they stand up, and I go. And then I run around. So that's my taunt. So that's my taunt, and that clocks in at a 15.
Okay. Well, that is a good success. Do you want to make him vulnerable, very vulnerable, or very stymied? So vulnerable means he takes a -2, or very vulnerable -4 to all of his defenses for the next action. and stymied means he gets a -4 to everything he does.
Well, at first I'm going to make him very vulnerable, and then my maneuver is that I'm running around his feet, like I'm just underfoot. Like maybe he, like if he was trying to get something from the fridge or whatever, he might be like, "Oh, this cat is in my." Get out of the way! I don't want to kick you. And so that's my maneuver. I'm running around his feet. My tail is up, and that is a success of 21.
So that is an outstanding success. What would you like to have happen?
Oh, I can't. He's reality rated, so I can't remove him from the game.
That is correct.
I will just make him very stymied. So now he's very vulnerable and very stymied.
All right. So you see Mr. Business gets to business and goes leaping at this Oni who has just eaten a man and yet somehow is confounded by this man-cat gone wrong thing. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Bobby.
I am gonna shout out, focus on the one Mr. Business is taken care of. And I would like to climb up the wall and shoot down from on high.
Okay. So that is going to be 2 actions, the climbing up the wall.
Mhm.
And now you have an elevated position. Now, against attack bonuses, when you are attacking this thing, it is close to 6 meters tall. So you get a +2 to all of your attacks against it.
Nice.
So you guys watch as Bobby goes running to the side of this building. It's much wider and actually shorter than you had expected because it's kind of, you like head down these set of stairs and it opens up into a broad, well, it would have been brightly lit, but it's now flickering. And as it flickers, you can see the stains on the wall of where like bodies have been thrown and there's limbs lying everywhere. And she just kind of runs up the wall. I assume you're standing like perpendicular to the wall as you get your elevated position.
Yes, but then I make sure that I kind of crouch back so any recoil on my pistol doesn't send me wobbling.
All right. Give me the attack roll.
All right. 15 to my attack, which there it is. So that's a total of 16.
A total of 16
Mm-hmm.
is a good success. So what is the base damage on your weapon?
13.
13. Now you get to add an extra d6 of damage because you rolled
Nice. An additional 5. So 18 total.
18 total points of damage. Oh, I apologize. It's actually an outstanding success because he is very vulnerable. So add that extra scratch there.
Ooh, a 6. So that's another 5.
Okay.
And a 1. So 6. So a total of 24.
A total of 24. So I've got good news. I got bad news.
Okay.
Its rubbery skin absorbs most of the impact of the bullets.
Okay.
You do 2 points of shock to the creature.
Holy cow.
Okay.
Bullets are flying. The thing kind of rocks back, standing there. It's looking around for someone. Like, it looks like it's getting ready to bring that. Yes, Becca.
I just noticed my pistol is armor piercing 2.
Well, in that case, I will spend a possibility to soak that wound that you have delivered to it.
Oh, thanks.
And get a 3.
Ooh, rough, man.
Burn that possibility, sir.
Oh, no, it says not. Wait, there we go. All right. So, it still doesn't take the wound, but you've burned through 2 of its possibility, Becca.
Great. And I'm gonna go ahead and put adrenaline into play.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Black.
All right. Seeing that bullets have a surprisingly low effect on this creature, I decide would you say that this being a train station in cyberpunk Japan, that there's potentially like food delivery mopeds idling at the curb?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna hop on one of those.
Okay.
I'm gonna drive it directly at Oni,
Okay.
and at the last moment, I'm going to leap off the seat, and my fist crackling with energy, I'm going to punch it in the face.
All right. Give me a drive.
I don't have the drive ability.
Pilot land vehicles is based off your dex,
Okay,
and this is a possibility for you for being so awesome.
thank you. That's a 19 plus my dex, so that's going to be a 6 plus 10, so 16.
16 minus 2.
Minus 2.
Do you want to spend a possibility on this roll?
I mean, I just got one, so why not?
All right. You're at 19,
And a 1.
so it counts at least a 10.
10,
So
so
it's 39, so that's a plus 11, ends up being a plus 9. So 19, you drive this moped directly into this thing. It catches him in the knee. I would like you to roll a d6, please,
all right.
of bonus damage.
That's a 2.
So you deliver 2 points of shock to it as its knee cracks, but you are up in the air. And what is your melee combat skill?
My melee combat skill is also 10.
All right, so that's a 19 at this point, which is a good success.
Excellent.
So what's the base damage of your
That's
fist?
14. It's armor piercing 4,
Oh, good lord. Okay.
and it's dazing.
All right. Now roll your bonus die damage.
Okay.
Armor piercing 4.
I get to use it once per scene, so that just
This seems awesome.
that's it. All right, that was also 2.
Great. Spending a
It's-
point. 14 plus 1 is not enough. All right. So he takes it on the jaw, rocks back. Energy crackles. There's a little bit of a shock wave. The water briefly kind of just perfect sphere of static that blossoms from them. And as you land, you see Mr. Business scurrying around this Oni's feet, and you look up. He spits out one of his tusks, but he doesn't seem wounded.
Right.
So we're at a train, correct?
You're at a train station. You're like outside the train station, ready to head down into it.
Okay, so we're not actually by the train tracks.
No.
I was gonna say if a moped can do that, what can a train do?
Would you like to maneuver one or two of them? You can try and maneuver them in front of, like, run past them, get them to follow you, and try and get them in front of the train.
That is what I would like to do.
All right. How many do you want to try and get? 1, 2, 3, 4?
We're gonna start with one.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your maneuver check. Now you're really going to want this to go well. So the base target number is 8. What is your maneuver?
My value is at 7, so hopefully this goes well.
Okay.
That's a 13.
So 13 is a +1. So that means you've met it. So you push this guy off balance. If you really want to try and get him in front of the train, you're probably going to need to spend a possibility to see if you can make that number bigger.
We're gonna do it.
All right, let's do it.
Then.
All right. So roll again. So we're starting at 13.
19.
Nice.
All right, so 13 plus 19 is 32, which is a +10. So that is a 17.
Mr. Business would like to play his supporter card.
Which gives her a
in,
+3.
Yes.
All right. So Mr. Business kind of screeches. The thing kind of turns back and gives it a rude gesture, and it follows you down into the train station. You're leaping over turnstiles. It's just ripping through them. As you go walking, as you go running, you can see the train up ahead. You can see the light. And with a 10, you get a player's call. So first of all, do you want to make him very vulnerable, or easier to damage, or less likely he's going to smash you with a hammer? Now, before you make that decision, you all get a whole nother round of combat before he gets to go.
I want to go with the first one.
The vulnerable?
Yes.
All right. Now, with the player's call, we've established that he's following you. So on this turn, if you can do something like that again, you can leap the tracks, and as he comes at you, is our goal.
Hopefully
Do you want
that's
to do
not
that?
me.
You want to do that right now?
Yes.
All right, so take at the end of your turn, you take one of your cards from your hand and put it in front of you, as if it's in your action pool. So I would take something that either acts as a possible. What are your cards?
I have idea.
Which just gives you a cool idea. You can be like, what do I know?
I got second chance.
That lets you re-roll a failure. That'd be a good one.
Just a flesh wound,
Okay. That lets you soak the big iron club.
and then another second chance.
All right, I'd put one of the second chances in play
Okay.
so that you can use it during the combat. So you just say this one's in play.
Okay, this one's a.
Okay, let's start with Haley. All right, Haley, you're running down. It is a scene of utter devastation and horror. You can see where on the far track, this train car has kind of derailed. It skipped up over onto the waiting platform and skidded into the wall. The doors have been ripped off. It looks like that's where these things came out of. It does not look like the trains that you have typically picked up here. It's a small, well, there's no time for that. You see it on the far side, and you see the trail of carnage that has come this way. You can see several of the very polite attendants who kind of tell you where to go. Some of them are over there. The rest of them are over there. The carts that they put around that have bottles of water and all of the food. It looks as if somebody packed them with explosives and set them off. There are Cheez-Its raining from the ceiling. One of the long fluorescent light tubes is sort of hanging, and they have this beautiful, like, entire length of the station television screen that displayed the scenes outside, different advertisements. It's cracked and shattered, and the speakers are just distorted and pumping out a volume of noise and sensory input. Give me your maneuver roll. You can hear the train coming through.
13.
All right, so a 13 gives you a +1 to your roll. What is your base maneuver?
7.
All right, so you're at an 8, but the good news is you dropped his. He's vulnerable, so his target number is 4. So you spend a possibility. You got to get to a total of 14. I'd recommend.
I really want to see it.
You really want to see it happen? Oh, I know.
I roll again.
All right, roll again.
That's a 6.
All right, so that counts as at least
A 10.
a 10. So what's your total?
So that was 13 plus 10, 23.
23 is a +8. So you're at a 16, which beats this by 10. So you barely leap across. You can see the train is rushing at you. Brakes squealing as it tries to slow down. And this thing kind of leaps after you, and there's just, you hear the sound of a thunk, windows, glass shattering, and as you look back, there's just like mist and bluish black skin chunks, and then the club lands in the concrete right next to you, and it actually breaks the concrete a little bit. But now the train is passing you. Who's up next?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there anybody on the train?
It's fine.
One less conductor.
It is one of those automatic trains.
You're going next then, I take it.
All right. Okay. So was that the one that everybody had been?
No.
Oh, nice. Okay. So this one, we still have one more. All right. They have an armor of, what's their armor again?
Their toughness is 21. 4 points of that is armor.
Okay, that guy is tough. I don't have anything else that's AP. So, I'm going to draw my silenced pistol, and I'm going to fire it at point blank range up into its face.
Okay. Would you like to make a called shot?
Sure, why not?
All right. If you take a -6 to the attack, you can hit it in a vulnerable spot.
A -6. Okay, well, there's a possibility here, because An 18. That's not so bad. Plus 5. Plus my fire combat, which is 12. So that's 17 minus 6 equals 9. 11, yes.
11, which is its dodge.
Okay,
So you hit it.
I hit it. It's been a possibility.
All right, go for it.
This little...
So you, Bobby, you and Mr. Business watch as Mr. Black ducks around, finds a crack in the armor, a place where the armor plates don't quite cover, jams the pistol up into this thing's armpit.
All right, so that one exploded. So that was...
You had an 18
plus 20, so that's
38.
38 plus 14. So
38, 48, 52.
52.
You don't have, nobody has a
You have a glory.
drama or a hero card in their hand, do they? In their action pool? Okay. Oh, you get to put another card in your action pool.
Yep, so just one of these.
Okay.
All right, Ben, that's plus 14 to hit.
All right, let's do it.
So what's the base? What's your base?
My base damage on my gun is...
No, your base skill.
My base skill is 12.
So 12 plus 14 is 26, minus 6 is 20. So that is a good success.
Okay.
Ben,
Yes.
I can trade you my adrenaline.
Which
For
will
what
take
you
you
have
an
in your
outstanding.
pool.
You're 1 point off.
All right, well, then I'll trade
Yeah.
you my second chance for your...
Cool.
All right, I feel like there's a misnomer on the card. Because there's 3 second chances on the table.
There's
Second,
4,
third,
actually.
fourth.
So
That's where I shot. All right, so that's an outstanding success. What's the base damage on your gun?
14.
So you're at 18 right now and ignoring armor.
Okay.
Roll 2 bonus dice.
That one explodes. 1 plus 5, so 6.
Okay, so it's 18 plus 6 is 24.
24 plus 2, 26.
So 26. That is enough to inflict a wound and 2 shots on this thing.
Okay.
And it has no possibilities. So you guys see the muzzle flash, and the bullet rips free of the Oni's neck. It staggers back, clearly enraged, clearly coming for you.
Excellent.
Valerie, gotta remember your character's name. Valerie. I'll just remember the song. As you watch the Kenobo, the long club starts to rust away, and the pieces of flesh start to just dissolve into goo. Let's go, Bobby. What you got, Bobby?
All right, was that the one that we had all been picking on?
Yes, he's got 1 wound.
Okay. Then I'll just say, these are tougher than my uncle's colon, and I'm gonna shoot him again.
Becca gets a possibility for the weirdest thing said at the table. Ever.
Finally.
Ever. Go ahead and roll. No.
That's not the weirdest. That is
Becca.
not the weirdest.
Becca. I can honestly say in my years of running a game, Mr. Furious said what?
I was like, I gotta think of something.
You got the chat to take a double take. I'm sure
Excellent.
Mr. Furious has just spit cola or soda. I'm not sure. Go for it, Becca. Make your attack roll.
This is what happens when you're just exhausted at the end of the day and you're like, I gotta be witty.
Well, you made Tinker laugh.
Okay, I rolled an 18.
Before you answer this, did you want to make a called shot to try and get past its armor?
Oh, yeah.
It's a -6.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me what your total is.
Then the total is 13.
That hits with a standard success. What's the base damage on your gun? +4.
13 plus 4 is
Yep.
17.
All right. Bullets rip into this thing. It goes staggering back. It takes a knee. Almost kneeling on Mr. Business. What are you going to do, Mr. Business? Oh, hey, you got a willpower card for taunting it last time.
Oh, good. So I think Mr. Business would love to go for a vital blow at the same area everyone's been shooting at. Like,
Okay.
like he's not very bright. And Ben would say that Mr. Business will use his kitty claws, but I think that that's not going to do enough damage. So I think I probably have to use my gun.
Okay.
Okay, so an 18.
18 is a +5. So you're at
But it's going to be -6 because of the vital blow.
Yep.
So that's going to be a -1 to my weapons of. So that's a 12.
So a 12 is a standard success. What's the base damage on your weapon?
14.
14 plus 4 is 18. All right. The Oni goes toppling back, hits the ground, and slides down the stairs as you watch, just dissolving into black goo and just leaving a stain on the stairs. The
I
remaining
say-
two. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
As I blow the smoke off the gun, I say, bullseye? No. Cat's eye.
For what is about to happen, you all deserve it. The two other Oni come charging in. One takes a massive overhand swing at Mr. Business. The other one goes to kick you, like kind of grab you up in the chest or by the chest and pinata you. Do you want black or blue?
I mean, black. I'm Mr. Black. Always on black.
All right. We'll start with Mr. Blue then. Mr. Blue, what is your melee or unarmed combat? Better value.
13.
13. All right. Well, you managed to get out of the way. You kind of grab it and use your kitty claws. Use your kitty claws to deflect the.
Actually, a 15 if it makes a difference.
It does
Unarmed.
No, you succeeded. So you deflect this thing to the side. Unfortunately, Mr. Black, I don't know why this happens, Ben.
It's okay. My destiny.
It is. It's your density. What is your melee or unarmed combat?
My melee is 10. My unarmed combat is 12.
Okay, we'll go with the 12.
Sounds good.
Because I got a 15.
Okay.
So with a 10, that would have been a good success. What is your toughness? Is this
My
club
toughness?
You know what? No, I'm going to spend a possibility on this one because
Just hurt me good.
I'm a jerk.
Okay.
I'm going to take that up to a 25. So that's a
Dang.
+8, so that's a 21. That's an up 6. So I get to hit you with a bonus die of damage you always use.
I would go.
What's your toughness?
My toughness is 11.
Oh, good lord, I should not have done that. Mistakes were made. Bobby, you hear the wet crunch and thwack as this thing hits him for 2 wounds and 4 shock.
Well, crap.
Would you like to spend a possibility?
I think I better wrap up that. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So if you were a fan of Savage Worlds or you were a fan of Torg, you may notice some parallels between the two games. Shane Hensley worked on both games. Daryl worked on both games. So there's a reason for this. So in Savage Worlds, you spend a Benny and you get a chance to soak. You spend your vigor. How tough are you? In Torg, it works a little differently. You spend a possibility and you make a reality roll. You are literally looking for reality where this doesn't go down the way it did and forcing that possibility into existence. So,
All right. It's a 4.
cool. That's not good at all. What's your reality skill?
My reality is.
So definitely not a 16. So
Yeah,
you're going
no.
to spend a possibility
I'm
dealing
gonna
with those.
blow my
two.
last
Okay.
possibility to see what I can do about this. That's an 18, so slightly better.
So 22 gives you an 18, which soaks both of the wounds. How does this happen? What reality do you not take these damage?
Okay. Well, in the reality where I'm not getting squashed by a giant club, I
Mhm.
assume, I in fact jump back, land on my tail, which is actually not a tail, but just a large tentacle that sticks out of my back, and I
Your bactical.
no back. No. Land on my tail and sort of spring to the side.
All right. So the next card is the Pace Quickens. Villains will be going first.
Okay.
However, when heroes get to go, you get an up. So what an up is you will automatically roll 2d20 for every action you take this round. Any multi-action, so if you do 2 things or more on your turn, which is a good thing to do, will get you another destiny card. Now, we're going to start with those in combat. We'll come to you, because there's right now a train going in front of you.
Fair.
This round you can't get back. But you do have a lot of other things to look about, or you could just, smoke them if you got them. Let's start with Bobby this round.
Okay.
We have the best chat.
Oh. I get to go? I thought villains went first.
Oh, villains do go first.
Is it something you're not telling us about me?
All right, so once again, then you can look over the screen.
That's
Once again, Mr. Business, you are like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. You cannot be pinned down. Unlike Mr. Black, who clearly gets hit with an iron club.
So real quick, last time I lost how many shock? It was
None.
none.
You
Oh,
soaked
it's
it
all.
all.
Okay. Good deal.
But you kind of get hit in this region with a giant iron club. You're at a 12, right? So a 16 is a +3, so I can speed you to 16. That's not good enough for an outstanding success. So I'm going to get a.
Ben, you could choose to active defend.
That's what I was going to
I
recommend.
think you should, since I don't have any possibility to burn here.
All right, so I am at my target number right now that I have hit is my TN is a 22, which is an outstanding success. So
Yeah, that's
anything you can generate. So on your turn, you can forego doing everything to just get out of the way. So Ben, it's an up. You
Okay.
get your 2 dice. Go for it.
Acting that means I get to dodge. That's my turn.
So roll your unarmed combat.
Double 11s. I get something for that, right?
Yeah, you get no prize.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
awesome.
So it's a +8. So that gets you to 20.
Okay.
I got a 22.
I got nothing.
So the good news is it's not a thing.
Yes. Yeah.
However, what's your toughness?
Toughness is 11 as well.
Still just not great. 2 wounds and 4 shots.
Yeah.
He just Babe Ruths you. You see a brief moment where he points to a food truck and then hits you square in the chest, and you're not there. Bobby, you see, and he lands in through the little open window of a food truck, and the truck kind of rocks and then falls on its side.
You see my tentacles stick out. Oh, gyoza!
Those are my actions. So start us off here.
Well, I say something wildly inappropriate. And is there anything in this area that I could use to hinder these Onis' movement? Because there's still 2, right?
There are still 2. There's cables hanging from the ceiling. There are a variety of automated carts and food service vehicles.
Okay. I
I remember that one. You can have a possibility and spend it in this chat. That was a good sketch. Sorry, Bobby.
No worries. I will, excuse me, maneuver one of these cable lines around the Oni that just punted Mr. Black in order to stop him from moving, and then attempt to shoot him in the crack of the armor.
A very vulnerable spot.
I was like, how do I say this correctly? Yes, in a vulnerable spot.
All right. So you get an up, so you get to roll 2 dice for this.
Cool. Where's my other ones? They're there.
And your new card will be Drama, which acts as a possibility.
Oh, a natural 20.
Right,
Nice.
since Jenny's not here, we'll just...
Thank you.
Okay,
man.
and a 2. All right.
Impossibility.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
In honor of Jenny.
Might keep me alive, so. Thank you, Jenny.
All right, what's your total, Becca?
I got a 22, so plus 8. To my maneuver.
How'd you get a 22 with essentially 3 dice?
Oh,
You're-
no. I rolled a 20,
Right?
and that explodes.
Yep.
Yeah, no. That was what I rolled on the dice.
So she only gets a...
So it's a plus 8.
Yep.
Right, but so you rolled a 20 and then a 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but remember this, you have an up, so you automatically get to add a second d20 to this roll.
Oh, I add the d20.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was 20 and 15.
So that's 35, 37.
Yes.
So that's a total
Yes.
of, so that'll be
okay.
plus 11. So that's plus
Mhm.
9 on your maneuver. What's your total on your maneuver?
My maneuver then is plus 9. It's a 22. There's...
All right, so you get a player's choice on top of making him very vulnerable. What else would you like to have happen with this thing?
I would like him to be stuck so he cannot go chasing after anybody.
Done. All right, so you see, like, going into a little free fall, grabbing some of the cables. Bobby hits the ground, rolls, and ties an intricate set of restraining knots around this Oni with the cables. And as he is stuck, give me your... so your attack roll would then be, with an additional -6, is only a +3.
That's a 17.
Well, you know, cool.
I did okay.
That is a good success. So go ahead and give me the bonus damage and tell me the total.
Total is 16.
20. All right. You inflict a wound on it. It is going to try to soak it and get a natural 1. So it has
Perfect.
taken a wound. Oh, wait a second. Even worse. Because it's also vulnerable to this attack. So
Oh,
-8. So it takes 2 wounds and Bobby drops it.
Cool.
Well done.
There is only one left, Mr. Business. Mr. Business.
Cat training a cat, put a lot of work in, get a little bit back. This cat can drive a car. That's right. He's the cat who can drive a car. So I'm going to hop in the food truck that my good friend Mr. Black just hit.
Yes. He is lying akimbo in like a big stew pot.
I'm assuming that the food truck doesn't have a door. It has sort of that like open gaping hole.
Yeah,
that
but there's a
food
door
truck-
at the back now, like, but it's on its side. It has fallen open.
Well, as I'm going in, I would like to scoop up from his food besotted position, Mr. Black, and the two of us on board the food truck, which obviously sells some sort of gyoza. I will floor it and try to ram the remaining Oni into the train. Like, it's an Oni sandwich. One side is food truck and the other side is train.
All right, so it can't be the one that he's in because that one got rocked over, but there is another one that you can totally do that. Give me the land vehicle roll.
All right. With an up, right?
With an up.
Okay.
By the way, this is Torg.
It always goes.
Yeah, I would like to say there was one time they were escaping on a Zeppelin and they decided the best way to escape on the Zeppelin was to turn it back around and blow up the enemy's base. And they did.
It's a 32 without juicing it in any way.
A total of 32? Or 32 on the die?
A roll of 32.
All right, so that's plus 10 to your land vehicles.
Right, and my land vehicles is a 13, so that's a 23 land vehicles.
His dodge is 11. So that's an outstanding success with a food truck.
I would also, I'll spend extra possibilities if it can have a pointy hood ornament. Oh, it's a marlin. Okay, I mean, I know I didn't get player's choice, but it would be a marlin with a really pointy nose.
I will.
Taco truck.
Yeah, it is a seafood taco truck. And it does have a marlin head kind of spearing out of the front of it. All right.
I don't care what damage it does as long as that's what it looks like.
Oh, I mean it does. All right. Roll 2 bonus dice.
Okay. Switching to my 6-siders. Eight bonus dice of damage to whatever a food truck's natural damage is.
Oh, I have the food truck's natural damage. Don't worry. Plus 8, you said, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Getting ding noise. All right, so he's going to try and soak 3 wounds. He is going to spend a possibility to continue to soak 3 wounds. All right, that's a 10. So 10 plus 5 is 15. 15, 26. So plus 9. That's 18. So that takes him down to 1 wound and 2 shock. So you have pinned him between the train that is speeding by. There is just sparks flying, and then the marlin nose breaks off, but you can see that he's stuck on there. This isn't happening. You're standing. You're not covered in it. It's just all over the ground. What would you like to do with your turn as the train is going by?
I can't really go anywhere. I'm gonna, just kind of brush off. I just ran.
You did it.
Retie my boots.
Okay.
And start looking for a way to get around.
As you look, you can go up the other side and kind of travel over, but there's that weird train car that kind of derailed and.
Mm-hmm. Can I use the derailed train car to get across?
You can go over. You can. Do you have? Give me a find roll. Do you have find?
I don't think so.
If you don't have find, do you have evidence
Haley?
analysis?
She also has an idea card.
Yeah, would you like to play your idea card?
Sure.
So you discard your idea card. You know what? Kind of look around. Theoni had to have come out of that car. And as you look at it, it's really weird. They're all they're all magnetic left tracks. But as you can see the bottom of this car, it looks as if part of the car shifted, maybe popped it up off the rails. Like it was purposefully derailed.
I'm gonna have to go look at it.
As you go in, lights are sparking, it's dark inside. As your eyes kind of adjust, you hear this weird sound that sounds vaguely like a food truck inside an enclosed space. And then the sound of a very underpowered engine smacking against a bullet train and something roaring under here. But as you look in, you can see there are 4 massive cryo chambers. They look like every cryo chamber you've ever seen in vids or manga or anime. They're open, they're large, they're about 7 meters long, 2 meters wide, and you can see that each of them had a little spot in the side about the size and shape of one of those big iron clubs. But there's a 5th one in there. It's all frosted over, but it's only about 2 meters by 1. It's kind of sitting in the middle of these 4.
He's a baby.
I mean, dumb Haley wants to jump in. Valerie is a smart girl.
But But remember the law of drama.
Jump it.
Okay, so you go jumping in, you hit the first container, kind of slide to the side, drop down and land on. You can see that there's green bars all across. But you also recognize that this is not Earth tech. This is the tech from your company.
Okay.
Something weird is going on here. Something strange. You have a couple of options. Do you try to open it up? Do you want to wipe the frost from it?
I just want to wipe the frost on it first.
Okay, so this is the end of your turn. You kind of wipe the frost from it, and you see, I mean, even though this thing is on its side, lying perfectly against the back, which is like 45-degree angle at this point because the train is derailed. There is a man in a tailored red suit, not Santa red, not bright red, but a deep sanguine red suit. He's very pale skin and long flowing white hair that just goes beyond the little portal that you can see, and he seems to be resting perfectly at peace. And there is a number. The only blemish in the flaw in his otherwise flawless skin is the kanji for 15 written in his cheek. All right, the next card is You're Driven Back.
Oh, good.
Mr. Business, villains go first. Heroes suffer a surge. But all of you are from this reality, so you luck out. A surge means you have to check to see if you disconnect. Remember how I said you carry your personal possibility energy with you? Disconnection means you can't access it. That's bad. But you're all in your home costumes, so. And defend or maneuver are the approved actions. Don't worry, Mr. Furious. I promise if you tune in next week, there will be more information for you. Mr. Furious plays in our Bureau G game, which was also sent to Pan Pacifica, and he discovered he's the clone, and he's systematically dealing with all of his clones so that he can prove, by virtue of being the only one standing, that he is the original.
I respect that.
Only be one.
Mr. Business, as you attempt to pin this demon, this Oni, to the train, it starts to fight back. It's going to take a multi-action. The first one is a maneuver to maneuver the truck away from the train. $35, so it's +8 to these rolls. I think he's going to spend a possibility. So I want this. This is going to go big. 545 +10. All right. With a roll of 27 on his strength, the tires start squealing. Smoke starts billowing out from the Marlin's Tacos truck as he starts to push it away from the train. And finally, you hear something snap underneath, and he starts pushing the truck further and further back. And as you sit there like that in the driver's seat, he takes his iron club and he just shoves it through the window at you. So, Mr. Business,
I think I'll active defend.
that might be a good call because he's at +10 to his melee weapons.
Yeah. That's
Which is
cool.
a 23.
So that's a 16 to my unarmed defense of 15. I rolled a 16, which is a +3. 3. So 18 is my defense.
So I got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is he still hits you.
Okay.
The good news is instead of it being an outstanding success, it is merely a good success.
You know what? I think I will spend a possibility on my defense.
That might be good because right now you would be taking 3 wounds and 6 shots.
So dead.
Okay.
You can take 4 wounds.
Okay.
So that will take
Just
it up
puts
to
it inside your torso and turns it around.
So with the possibility, I took it up to a 40, which is a plus 11. So now my defense is a 26.
You manage to throw yourself from the truck onto the ground, and you just destroy it. Like, steering wheel is gone, driver's seat is gone, built-in microwave gone. The AI that sings to you while the microwave is running is now screaming off key, and then
I think,
dies a horrible death.
Well, first of all, I obviously land on my feet.
Of course.
But then I hold up my hands, and I have 9 fingers out, and I take away 2.
Have a possibility, Ben. That was awesome. Bobby, Mr. Black, or Valerie, who would like to go next?
All right, I will pull myself out of the
Coup de grace, Ben.
food truck.
Yeah.
And
You're just covered in noodles.
I will slurp a couple of them.
Okay.
Gotta eat while you can, man.
Yeah, I respect your dedication.
I will grab one of the propane tanks that
Oh.
these things always have
They do.
with my tentacle. I will carry it down to this Oni. I will throw it at the Oni and shoot it while it's in the air.
All right, it is a multi-action.
It is a lot of multi-actions. How many actions is that?
It's technically 3.
Okay, that's a -6?
-4.
-4. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not too bad.
All right.
All right, so that's first one is a maneuver.
No. The first just roll, I'll tell you what.
Right. 13. That's a +1.
What's your total?
With +1 to what action am I thinking?
That's what
Here?
I'm looking up.
Okay.
Mr. Furious, quick, what's the thrown weapon skill?
Sorry,
Missile weapons.
missile weapons. So that'd be 11.
Oh, it does cover thrown knives. I always thought that for whatever reason my brain just doesn't work that way. All right, it hits.
All right.
The propane tank hits him in the chest. He kind of looks at you. What's your fire combat with the same bonus?
That is fire combat with the same bonus is going to be 13.
Dang it, that hits. All right, Ben, what is the base damage of your weapon?
The base damage of my weapon is 14.
14. We're going to count this as a heavy weapon or an explosive. All right, Ben. So this will do a total of 30 points of damage. AP 4, which drops it to 17. So that puts it 30 minus 17 is 20. It's 13. So 13 is 2 wounds and 4 shocks. He's going to spend his last possibility on a soak test. Get a 4. All right, what's it look like, Ben?
Oh, it blows up, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So basically, there's just like a nice little concave circle where his chest and head used to be,
okay.
and
It's
his
just,
arms are.
and then just black goo
Right.
dissolves to the ground. All right, we are out of comment rounds. Bobby, what are you doing?
If I'm gonna come down and kind of look at the mess, sigh heavily, and text the Delphi Council that we succeeded, but there's a couple trucks that are damaged. And then I'm gonna go and look for Valerie because she disappeared, and I'm super worried about her.
The train passes, and you can see, Bobby, the upturned the derailed car on the far side of the station.
All right.
Valerie, what are you doing?
I am going to look around the room and see if there's any kind of like computer or
Mhm.
technology that I
Yeah, it's fully teched out.
I want to find what looks like the main computer system.
Do you have a computer skill?
I do.
Give me a computer roll.
That's a 19.
Ooh, okay.
And my computer value is 10.
So that gives you a total of 16. That is a good success. So, you can see that the computer is currently in the process of deleting a massive amount of data. With a good success, you get two things. One, you actually have the telemetry of where this car originated. It's a small village about an hour outside of the city. But more importantly, you get the name of the person in the fifth car. Bobby, your Delphi Council contact gets back to you. Did you recover what was in the train car?
I'm gonna sit back working on it and head towards the train car.
Okay. Mr. Business, Mr. Black?
I'm quite damaged. There's nothing. They're just goo, right?
They're just goo. Yeah. Goo and rusted metal.
Okay, I'm going to stick a finger in the goo and taste it.
Oh,
Is it organic? Is it like nano?
Do you have anything that would give you, like, do you have like a chem taste or
Evidence
something?
analysis.
Give me an evidence analysis roll.
Yes! It's 18. So 5 plus 8, so 13?
13. It is definitely not organic.
Okay, so is it like nanites?
It has a weird taste that you've never tasted before, sort of a smoky, etheric taste. But as you taste it, there's also this like disgusting earthy taste to it. And as you're tasting it, and as Mr. Business is cleaning himself, you both kind of look at each other from the side of your eye and then do not make eye contact.
Fair enough.
Valerie, the name of the passenger is listed under Mephistopheles. And it says, "Do you wish to activate?"
I am going to hold off on that one.
At this point, Bobby, your phone rings. Your Zuzu buzzes.
yeah.
Is it there?
I see a box, man. I haven't gotten close enough.
Okay, well, you said, I see a box man. And that's
There's
when
a
the first
box.
rumble hits. Your line goes dead, Bobby. And you watch as the pillars start to blow up around you. And the roof,
Mr. Furious!
the roof begins to collapse. Mr. Furious gets like 10 possibilities because the dude's in my head. And that is where we are going to pause. And we will be back next week with you guys stuck inside a collapsed train station. Betrayed by your Delphi Council handler with a mystery. So,
I was rubbing my head on one of those pillars to mark it.
well, that is the last you saw of Mr. Business. No, I'm just kidding, Mr. Business. Did you guys have fun?
That was great.
Okay. Thank you to everybody who turned in. I know that Torg's Day Night is a staple and has been for the longest time on the Iconic Production Show. I am so glad to be able to run this Pan Pacifica series of adventures. We're going to introduce Haley to an iconic staple. We're going to get to play some Pan Pacifica. It is not the last time that we're going to be running Torg, but after this, we will be running our Savage Worlds game, the Crucible of Realms. Going to start that up in like 3 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it. We're starting to get art in. We've got character designs. We're going to do our first character set, like our character building session together with the chat. There will be NPCs that come up that I will ask you for information. So you get to help build the characters that the players are going to interact with. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in. As always, thank you to Becca, who plays an amazing kick-ass space marine in a gecko armor. To Ben as Mr. Business, you never disappoint with your costumes and your commitment to the most feline of details. Ben, who always brings food trucks into the mix, like always. We have not run a Torg game with you that has not had some sort of food-based, culinary-based diversion or excursion.
It's true.
And I greatly appreciate that. And Haley, thank you for being willing to jump into the madness that is Torg. Your third time on our show. So we will be back next week with part 2 of Electric Slide. And please tune in to all the other great shows we have on the Iconic Production channel. We've got Behind the Scenes on Thursday. We're going to review the Tatooine Manhunt, an old West End Games Star Wars adventure that is one of my favorites, or at least was when I was in high school. We'll see how it holds up over the years. Mark has some very strong feelings about West End Games and said I shall not besmirch its name on stream. We'll see if it's worthy of besmirchment or still holds that great place. And then we got a lot of great shows for the rest of the month, including the next Exploring Glorantha, where we're going to start talking about the first age of exploring of Glorantha, as well as at the end of this month, we're going to do an interview with Kevin and Emily, the design leads and writers of Swords of the Serpentine, the sword and sorcery gumshoe game that is just spectacular. And then we're also going to be starting our 13th Age 2nd Edition playtest, actual play, with none other than Rob Hainsu, who is one of the designers. So lots of fun stuff in March, but I could think of no better way to end a month of gaming than to be hanging out with all of you playing Torg on Tuesday night. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. We will see you all in a week for more Torg. Have a good one.